Sorry. Yeah.
Now,
Oh, it's
you've
good to
made
be on
quite
here.
the contribution to the MLP fan music scene. Over 30 songs last I counted. According to YouTube, you've been making MLP fan music for just over a year now. The first song you released was Birdsong in early April 2013, and you've had some pretty strong talent from the beginning. So, how long have you been making music in general?
I've been, well, it depends on if you're asking if I've been, like, playing or recording or writing my own music. But I guess if playing music, I've taken piano for about 10 to 11 years now. And I've been writing my own music for maybe three to 3 to 4 years. And for the Brony fandom, I've been writing music and doing covers and stuff for about a year and a quarter. Well, about just a year and a month. Because first song I posted was on April 7th of 2013.
Nice. Any formal
And
training with the like maybe orchestra in high school or middle school even?
well, not really. I mean, only kind of training that I've taken piano lessons for a while. I stopped just about 2 or 3 years ago from taking piano lessons, and I've been part of my church choir as well as the Ensign Symphony and Chorus. Is the Seattle Ensign Symphony and Chorus.
Nice.
So, yeah, that's just a few tips here and there from choir directors on vocal training and piano lessons. And I taught myself the guitar, drums, bass, and ukulele, and a few other things.
Nice. I'm sure that helps a lot.
It does. Piano is the most relatable instrument. So, yeah.
It sounds like you have a lot of experience with this stuff too. What actually inspired you to start making music?
Start making music. Well, I guess there was just things in life that I wanted to be able to express or tell somebody, and I've always been really kind of, as you can tell, short for words, I guess. Just, I'm trying.
You're
I'm
fine.
trying to say it here. I'm trying to say it, but there's just only some things that I can express through music and lyrics.
It's
So
an emotional drive for you then?
that's one of the things, and just seeing the feedback that I get is pretty awesome as well.
Nice.
Well, I know a lot of people enjoy it, but how long does it usually take for you to make a song? Like on average, for you to produce it, make it, and everything?
Okay, so my quickest time, I started like the morning of one day, and I was done with a song the morning of the day. That song was Under the Sun. It was created in about, well, not in the morning of that next day. It was finished in about 36 hours, and that includes writing the lyrics, coming up with the tune, and recording the entire thing. I guess I was just on a really big streak, and I wanted to submit it for a website as well. So there's that. That's my quickest time, but on average, I'd say maybe about 3 days to a week to finish a song.
Wow. I mean, I know people who it takes months and months to get music out, and it's really interesting that you have such a drive to get such really good quality music out there as fast as you do.
Thanks. It really depends on the song, though. It depends on how complex it is, or how long you want to wait to put it out, just to get people anxious.
So, what were your expectations for the music when you first started? Like, where did you see it going?
I didn't even see mine going anywhere at all. My recording quality when I first started was pretty awful. I mean, sure, I could play the instruments, but the stuff that I had, I just didn't quite know all the tips and tricks that there were to recording. And so from there, I didn't know how I could get any better, but so I didn't really see my music going anywhere. But then I guess my music got submitted to Equestria Daily, and so I got about 50 subscribers from that. And I had no idea that I would even get that far at all.
Well, people sure do enjoy quality music. So, what's it like now that you've gotten such a substantial following since your start? Getting a lot of fan mail, maybe?
Yeah, it's very flattering. It's an experience where you kind of just hog a bunch of attention, where you feel like other people should have that attention. There are so many good artists out there. So, I mean, especially in the Brony fandom, it's amazing.
And I can understand where you're coming from too. Speaking of other artists in the fandom, are there any that you especially like to follow or listen to the music?
Yeah, let me think. I know Black Griffin's good, but everybody knows he's good. But people that I favor, I like to listen to Crazy Oatmeal's music. He hasn't posted anything in a while, but he is actually really good. He and Zatzlal are really talented.
And we have a special treat for the listeners, I do believe. We're going to play a new unreleased track that you had. Am I right?
Yeah. So the song's called Sister Luna. It's a parody of a song called Give Me Something by Scars on 45. This is just the acoustic version of it. I would have played it with a capo on, but I couldn't find it. But this is what it sounds like. Let's see here. As the one I betrayed, and say it's not my fault. My opinions never strayed, and I sang you 1,000 lullabies, but they all just sound the same. Please, Sister Luna, won't you come home someday? Sister Luna, you're so far away. Sister Luna, won't you come home someday? 'Cause we both know you've been gone for a lifetime. When we hold in harmony, but the memory fades away, given time and eternity. And I've written a million letters now, but not a single one to you. Please, Sister Luna, won't you come home someday? Sister Luna, you're so far away. Sister Luna, won't you come home someday? 'Cause we both know you've been gone for a lifetime. Won't you come home someday? Sister Luna, you're so far away. Sister Luna, won't you come home someday? Sister Luna, you're so far away. Sister Luna, Sister Luna, Sister Luna, oh Sister Luna.
That was
There you
awesome.
go.
Wow.
I love that.
I'm
I'm excited.
I am. Yes, I am
excited.
taken aback. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Okay, and that song's gonna be available sometime within the next week, if I'm not mistaken.
I'm shooting for Saturday.
while we wait for that, since convention season is in full swing, are there any conventions you plan to visit in the near future?
Yeah, I'll be going to Everfree Northwest on July 4th and 5th. So, I mean, yeah, at least the 4th, I know that. So that'll be fun.
Awesome.
And I'll be performing there.
So have you been to a
I'll have
convention before?
I actually staffed at Everfree Northwest last year. Yeah, I go there because it's like it's 20 minutes away from where I am. So
Right,
yeah,
right. So what was that experience like?
it was really cool. I got to help out with logistics, and doing that. It's just kind of getting all the stations the items that they need and service that they need and kind of
Right.
that kind of thing. I also got to spend some time with Ed and Jimmy from Acoustic Brony and played a couple of their songs. We played a couple of my songs, and yeah, it was just an awesome experience. Got to meet a few other people too.
Nice. Are there any interesting con stories that you'd like to share?
Ooh, yeah. Okay, so there's this field outside of Everfree Northwest. It's just like it's in the area, but it's not quite in the building. This little grass area. Now, before I get into that detail, I had wanted to perform there originally at a con, but apparently I had talked to Mike the Microphone about it too late, and so I was not admitted into it. But after meeting Ed and Jimmy, we got, I just decided, well, after I had a break from logistics, I decided to just go play in that field. And a couple other musicians joined me, like Relative Pitch, who does all the violin for some of my songs. So that's where I met him. But we just started playing there, and a bunch of people gathered around. I mean, it was an amazing experience to see how much attention I was gathering. They were just sitting there listening to me, like I had my own show. It was awesome. I'd say maybe, I don't know, 20 people gathered around there. It was
a bit of a
amazing.
surreal experience for you.
Yeah.
It's always nice hearing just some people's experiences like that before they become well known. I mean, we kind of had the same thing with a couple of our other artists who we've interviewed before.
Really?
Speaking of becoming more known, what do you expect from this next con that you're planning to go to now that you are more well known amongst the community?
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about all the attention that I'll get. I'm a pretty shy person when it comes to meeting in person. So, I mean, even just for one person. So I guess if I have a whole fleet of people coming to draw me in attention, then I don't know. It seems a little frightening, but it sounds fun.
Speaking of like this whole convention topic and how they're happening everywhere, have you done much traveling in the past to other places, different countries, other states?
Yeah, I've been to Canada twice, and my family and I actually spent 2.5 months living in China, and that was an experience because it was just a huge culture shock for me. My dad had been there several times prior to that, but when we went there, it was like the whole temperature changes, but the whole they're very different. It's always pretty humid there, and just kind of, I don't know, very different standards around decency, I guess, and yeah, and especially like traffic rules there. They're not as strict, I guess. It's crazy.
Let's talk about traveling in your future. You mentioned in your last update video that you're going on to a mission trip for your church. Can we get a little bit synopsis of what that's about?
Sure. So I'm a member of the LDS Church, or the Mormon Church, and I will be something that young men are encouraged to do when they reach the age of 18 is to serve a full-time mission for 2 years, preaching the gospel and giving service and just generally being a nice person. And it's really important to me. I've always wanted to do this. I just feel it's for the good of everyone. And so I'll be gone for 2 whole years, and I won't have any internet connection whatsoever, except for like emailing friends and family, or maybe posting a gospel message on Facebook, stuff like that. And I won't be allowed to listen to certain kinds of music. So yeah, it's going to be really. I guess I'll be away from the fandom for a while. I'll definitely be coming back. I'll definitely join the fandom again if the fandom's still going in 2 years. We've survived 3.5 years. What's 2 more?
So you've mentioned other places you've traveled, and in the video you mentioned the location is Buenos Aires, Argentina, right?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, I didn't cover that. Yeah, that's where I'll be going. Buenos Aires, Argentina. I'm covering the south half of that mission.
So what are you
So it's
expecting
more-
from that culture when you get there?
It's going to be a more urban place, is what I'm told. We had a friend of my dad's. We had him come and visit us, and we talked with him about what it's like down there, because he's from Cordoba, which is pretty near there. So it's going to. I hear that there's going to be a lot of meat eating, but there be all the wrong parts of the meat. So like stuff that we don't usually eat.
Interesting.
And I'm going to get they're going to have a lot of barbecues, is what I'm told. And their barbecues are much different. I don't remember the exact definition of what they call a barbecue, but yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and I'll be speaking Spanish. Duh.
See. So it sounds like you have your hands full for this trip, and I hope you enjoy it. We're going to take a short break. Here is a beautiful, heartfelt piece made by our special guests, obviously, called Wandering Eyes.
Don't think of the language barrier as that hard. I've spent a couple months in Germany with knowing hardly any German myself. A lot of people are willing to help you than you think.
A little politeness goes a long way.
I guess so, but when you're trying to do something that isn't just talking with people, I guess it's going to be a little bit different, so they might not. The only person that I'll have to help me is I'll be in the MTC first, the Missionary Training Center in Provo, Utah first, for about, I wouldn't be able to tell you the exact time, but I'll be in there for a little bit first, learning the language. And while I'm out there, I guess the people there probably won't be willing. I don't know. Missionaries are either seem really intimidating or really helpful, I guess. So I guess I've been coming from a different point of view than yours. So
Now, here's a really interesting observation. You know how the show is being dubbed into different languages, right?
I did not know that.
Oh. It might be possible that they actually will have episodes of the show of different seasons down there while you're there.
Oh yeah. I thought you meant this show. I'm sorry.
I wish they did that.
That'd be cool. But yeah, I knew that MLP. Yeah.
Yeah. That'd be hilarious if... well, one thing you could do, perhaps, is translate your songs into Spanish.
I'll probably be writing some Spanish songs, actually.
If you do, please upload to YouTube. You'll get lots of views.
Yeah, I know. That's the connection that I won't have, though. I probably won't be able to go to YouTube or Facebook
Or conversely,
Twitter or stuff.
Conversely, you could just record a bunch of them on MP3 format or whatever, store them so when you come back you have tons of songs to upload.
That's exactly what I planned to do. I can't take any of my recording equipment with me except for this little microphone that my dad got me. That's very portable. So, yeah. But no, I won't be able to even watch the show while I'm there either. So.
And welcome back, everyone. That was Wandering Eyes, and what a beautifully mastered song it is.
Thank you.
If you guys enjoyed that song, please feel free to go to his YouTube and his Bandcamp pages where you can download a lot of his music. And they have some amazingly mastered music on there.
Thank you. It's good to hear that.
Now it seems like we should be turning it over to Draqx to see, were there any user-submitted questions?
Yes, about your lyrics in specific. A question about your inspiration for the lyrics and how long it takes to put it together.
So lyrics usually are inspired by just life experiences. The most complex lyric inspiration that I had was for Chance of Immortality. The idea was simple, but the actual words were not as simple. I had just got done with choir practice in the Ensign Symphony and Chorus, and I was waiting for a ride to take me home. But I was sitting in the foyer, and I decided that it was the only type of music on my mind at the time, choral music, and I wanted to write a choral song with like 4-part harmony, or at least 4 parts. And the lyrics came because of I don't know, I just felt really spiritually uplifted, and people seemed to be very I don't know, how do I put this in words? I just felt very profound at the time. I felt that I should write something very profound sounding. So like the lyrics in that song, Chant of Immortality, are remembrance, part of every life, numerous regrets, the art of passing time. Not one forgets, spent nights of chasing days, eternal rest, to witness being erased. And at the time, we were singing about we were preparing for our Christmas show, and I guess they were just my thoughts on what it would like to be immortal. And I was thinking about, I guess I kind of tied it in with the argument that was going on between whether or not Twilight was immortal now that she had become an alicorn. And so, yeah, I guess some things just come to me, and some things really don't. For Wandering Eyes, my inspiration was for my sister. She always seems to be a very curious person, and so I decided to base it off of that. She rides the wings of curiosity, and so, yeah, my lyrics are just based on my life experiences. And so, yeah, I don't know how else to put it. Usually it takes me to write lyrics, if I'm on a roll, if I have a good streak going, then I'd say maybe 4 hours to a day. But if I'm not, it takes me about a week to 2 weeks. I just got finished writing some lyrics for a parody, and it took me, I don't know, a month.
Okay, for another question about your recording setup. They comment that the audio sounds really crisp and clear, and the mastering is beautiful. And how do you keep it that clean?
I guess I just don't do a lot to it. I use a condenser mic for my recording. It's a C1 Behringer.
And good equipment helps a lot. Yeah.
Oh yes, it does. I sort of have a problem, or I had a problem with clenching my teeth while I sing, and so I guess vocal control will help with that as well. Like when you're singing loud, you back away from it a little bit, and when you're singing softly, you kind of want to scoot up towards it, so you won't have to mess with the volume so much. The volume balance is one of the most important things when you're mixing a song. When you're trying to balance the entirety of it, when you're trying to get the balance right.
Yeah, between the music and the vocals. Yeah.
Exactly. Because the music is what accents the vocals, and the vocals are what accents the music as well.
And the sum is greater than the whole of the parts, or reverse that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I also, so the equipment that I use, I have a C1 Behringer mic. So yeah, the brand is Behringer, and I guess the product is C1. I don't know how to name that.
The C1 model from Behringer?
Yeah, model. Yeah, there you go. Now, I have a UX2, a Line 6 UX2, and it's a digital to analog or analog to digital. I never remember. Yeah, it's an interface. That's my interface. And the DAW that I use is Ableton Live 9. It just kind of has a very clean sound. It doesn't modify it or anything. It just whatever you record, it goes in there straight. Now, but what I usually do is I put an equalizer on the vocal tracks and the drums and maybe a lead instrument. And so that's mostly where my and the master track. I can do that as well as add some reverb. So and sometimes I put a compressor on something just to make it stand out if there's a ton of instruments going on. So yeah, that's how I get my clean sound. It's not the best stuff, but it's pretty okay. So from what I've told.
Sounds like you keep it simple just to make it streamlined.
Yeah, I guess so.
The next question is for after your missions trip. If you have any plans of going into music as a career, or what field you're thinking of going into.
Well, I've been told by a few people, like my uncle, that I could actually do soundtrack writing for a living if I wanted to. So I'm kind of looking into that, but I don't know what else. I think that would be a good choice for me, soundtrack writing for like movies and video games and whatnot.
But
So
like I said, that's after your whole missions trip, right?
exactly, yeah.
Is there anyone you would like to collaborate with sometime that you haven't collaborated with yet?
Okay, well, Slipstorm. You know who Slipstorm is, right?
Hmm.
Okay, he's actually the very first one to contact me about collaborating, and we haven't put out a single thing yet. We have like each other's Skypes and emails and whatnot, but we haven't done a single thing yet. So he's one that I'm really looking forward to. Other people that I'd like to collaborate with, I don't know. I'd like to do a collab with Replacer sometime. He's pretty awesome, and I love his sound. I think his voice would would match pretty nicely with mine, or the other way around if he thinks so.
Now, on an off branch of that question, is there anyone that you've collaborated with so far that you'd like to again?
Yeah, I wish I could do another collaboration with Feather. We've done about 3, and she's always fun to work with.
Mm-hmm.
So, but she currently is taking a step back from the fandom right now, just focusing on her jobs, and they're really time consuming, and she has hardly any time for the fandom. And so the last thing that we put out was Time is an Adventure, which was a lot of fun, and it turned out really good. So yeah, I'd love to do another collaboration with her, but she doesn't have time right now, and that's okay.
Well, if you guys want to stay updated on what stuff Forever Free has, go ahead and follow his Twitter, which is @ForeverFreeBrony. He also has a professional album, which is called Small Horses and Other Stuff, at his self-named Bandcamp, GarrisonUlrich.bandcamp.com. And it's really good. You should totally buy the disc. He has discs available for sale, and you should totally get one. So, are there any last-minute questions? Alright, well, thank you for joining us again today, Garrison. It's been a pleasure.
Sure.
Be sure to check out his fantastic work and grab that physical copy of Small Horses. And with that, I'll return to Grayscale and Draqx for the rest of Tavern Tales. I bid you folks a pleasant evening.